Good morning, everyone. How are you? I hope you can see me. I'm under a shade tree, but there's still a glare. Maybe you can see me okay. How are you? I know I have one of those neck cooling towels around my forehead because my head was hot. I was out there with the chickens and I forgot to put a hat on. Oh, excuse me, allergies from being out with those chickens. Then I went in and washed up real quick and got some things together to show you, and got in the car and drove down here. And then I had this cooling towel around my neck. I thought, I'm just going to tie it up around my forehead, let this head cool off. But I hope no one thinks I'm a weirdo if anyone drives by like someone just did. Let me tell you, I so badly wanted to do a video yesterday. I still have a Happy Meal video to do, and I will do that today. Yesterday, I was depleted of any energy I had, and I ended up coming down with a really bad migraine. I'm pretty sure it's because I still can't find my glasses, and I'm having to squint all the time. I mean, I'm using these, the one with the one lens for driving, but anything else, I just can't manage with those. So I did just a little video asking for you to be patient with me, and then I just explained in that video real quickly why. But anyway, let me tell you about yesterday. As you know, I had an appointment at 8:30 with a new veterinarian place that opened up. Yesterday was the grand opening, and I made the appointment last week, I believe, and I did a video telling you all about that. And so I was there at 8:30, Monster and I, and I think it was the second person in there as far as I could tell, and we waited quite a while. But I was very patient. You know, I'm figuring, well, this is their grand opening, and they're probably trying to get things in order and all that. They gave me a tour of the place. It's a very small place. Well, after a while, the technician came in and weighed Monster. One of my concerns has been that, to me, it seems like she's been losing some weight. And they were looking at paperwork that I brought in from when Monster was with Petco Banfield. As you also know, I took her out of that mess, and she was in another great veterinarian down in Garland who did her surgery, but he has since retired. And I couldn't get all that paperwork together, so they were going by what Banfield weight was. And of course, that was probably 3 years ago, and so she's lost some weight since. That truck just keeps circling around. Since she was at Banfield. Anyway, the technician weighed her and wrote that down, and then made small talk, and then the veterinarian came in. And now this was a free wellness exam, if you remember. If you don't know, I'll just tell you. I had gone to the place where I buy their food, and they had a brochure on the counter that they have a low-cost vet come every Tuesday. And I was looking at the brochure. Well, the manager of this pet supply store told me, hey, here's another brochure of a new veterinarian opening up in this parking lot. Here's the brochure, and here's a card for a free wellness exam. So that's why that day I went right over there and I made the appointment. So this was free wellness exam. The veterinarian checked her eyes, checked her ears, checked her heart rate, checked her temperature, looked in her mouth, and then sat and talked with me, and was really, really pushing for blood work. She mentioned it once and I ignored it. She mentioned it a second time and I ignored it. And she mentioned it a third time, and I said to her in a nice way, I said, you know, you've brought up you wanting to do blood work on her today. You've brought it up 3 times, but you've not mentioned any price. And to tell you the truth, right now, I'm not in a position for anything that I have to pay for. This was just a free wellness exam. And so she said, well, we can still print out the cost of the blood work. There's 2 different tests we can do. We can do a basic blood panel, and then we can do one that is more towards senior dogs, because Monster is probably about 12, 13, maybe 13. Oh, my skin. I'm telling you, I never had a skin issue till I moved to Texas. And so I have it here. Let me see. Oh, did I grab that one? I think I did. Bear with me. Yeah, I can show you here. So the low estimate is just your basic blood work screening, and the high estimate is the one for senior dog. So one of them, the low one, is $238.98, and the high one that she was really pushing for is $343.24. Can you see that? So I says, I'm not going to have any blood work done. And I thanked them for showing me the facility. I thanked her for, you know, doing the free wellness exam. And then they said, okay, to save you time out at the desk from checking out, you can just pay here. I said, what am I paying for? Well, they said, this visit today is $59.50. I said, no, it was free. It was advertised free. Well, here's, well, I don't want to show you that. Well, I didn't bring it, but trust me, I wouldn't have gone for a wellness exam if it wasn't free. And so this was the 59 whatever. I said, well, I'm not paying it. And she says, well, then let me go talk to the vet. I said, you go talk to the veterinarian, but you let her know that I'm not paying the $59.50 for a free wellness exam. So then she comes back in. She says, okay, you won't have to pay $50. You just have to pay $9.50. By that time, I just wanted to grab Monster and get out of there. I said, well, what am I paying $9.50 for? You know, free is free. And they put on here, the $9.50 is for clinical support. I said, you didn't give me any support. You weighed her. The veterinarian checked everything I could have checked. Her temperature, her heart rate, her ears, her eyes, her, and her mouth. I didn't get any support. Anyway, I did, you know, you got to pick your battles sometimes. And I did pay the $9.50. And I picked up Monster and I left. And they gave me, they had these for everyone. You know, a bag and a bottle of water, some graham crackers, and a bunch of their pamphlets. And this, that I don't know if this is for humans or for dogs. I'm going to be throwing it out. It looks terrible. But, you know, free wellness exam. Not free. Before they tried to get the $59 from me, I asked about if they have a membership program, you know. I said, now listen, I was really taken with Banfield, and it took a lot of putting my foot down to get out of that contract, and I did. But they said, well, unlike Banfield, we don't take money out of your account every month for unseen visits. She went on to say it's like $14 a month for the membership, and it doesn't include medications, and I don't know. I just feel like the place is a scam. And I did some research. I really didn't look at reviews because, and I'll talk to you about that in 1 minute. But I did some research on the place, and apparently they are connected with Petco Banfield. And so that just leaves an uneasy feeling in me, because if you look back at videos, you know what I went through with Banfield. Now, I will say that Banfield and Wiley about 11 years ago was wonderful. When I came to Texas with my little chihuahua that got sick and ended up passing away, anytime that I went there, I had the same veterinarian, and she was so full of compassion. And I mean, I couldn't sing their praises enough back then. But since, it's not the same. And I have found out through someone who's a business owner that Banfield, they contract out their vets. So you may have a vet there for 2 weeks, and then that one will get contracted out to another Banfield Petco place. So you never get an established relationship anymore with the Banfield vets, at least here in my area, which is not a good feeling. So I got out of that monster's appointment. We were there about almost 2 hours. Then I brought her home, and then I went back to the cell phone company. If you've been following, you know the issue is not with the manager or the other assistant that works at the cell phone company. They are wonderful. They tried to help me so much on Saturday, on the weekend, calling numbers that they had to call to try to straighten out a program I was on to help with my billing. Then the guy said, come back on Monday. You know, during the week, we'll probably get further. I was there Monday at 10:03. They open up at 10. I was there at 10:03. And I was there over 2 hours, and nothing got resolved. And then it was the holiday. So yesterday morning, I called one of the numbers. I called the ACP number, which is the program that I have been on to help with my phone bill. Connectivity program, I think. Anyway, it's ACP. And I got to talk to a nice lady, and I explained everything. And I told her part of the issue that we're having is I've been on this program for at least 2 years, and I have forgotten my username and password. And so she gave me my username and a temporary password. She said, go back to the cell phone company, tell them that you talked to someone here at ACP. The reason why you have to go back to the cell phone company is because on their tablet, because the cell phone company is contracted with this government program, I have to go on the tablet at the store and do an application called the transfer benefits, because somehow I was being accused of being on another program, Whoop It. They said I got a free cell phone. I didn't. You know, I'm using this one with the big crack in it, and the volume controls itself because I've dropped it. You know what? When I'm able to get another cell phone, I'm going to invest in a cell phone cover thing, you know, that goes all around your cell phone to protect it if you drop it. Because my hands go numb. I drop things all the time. And so anyway, this other place was saying I got a free cell phone, I got a free tablet, and I got a free wristwatch, which none of that is true. And even when a few days ago when we called that other company and talked to a man, he said, we don't have any of your information, so, just call back ACP and say your account is inactive because you don't have nothing to do with us. So that's what I was telling the lady yesterday. Anyway, went back to the cell phone company, had the same manager, that same young lady who helped on Friday, Saturday, and Monday. And when I walked in, I could just see on their face they were dreading me coming in there. But the Lord helped me, and I told them, you must be sick of seeing me. Of course, they didn't say nothing, but I said, you're going to keep seeing me, though, until this issue is resolved. And I don't have a problem with either one of you or even with this cell phone company. My problem is with the ACP and then that other place. And I have to keep going through you to get it resolved. So I said, you're going to keep seeing me until it's resolved. I said, I'm like that lady in the Bible, in the book of Luke. She was a widowed lady, and she kept going to that judge. The Bible calls him an unjust judge. But she had a need, and she kept going to him and going to him and going to him. And the unjust judge says himself, this is in the book of Luke, I forget what chapter, but you can look it up. He said he didn't fear God, and he didn't regard man. But he said, this woman keeps coming to me, and she's tiring me out. I'm just going to give her whatever she wants. Whatever she keeps coming to me for, I'm going to give it to her to have her quit coming. I said, I'm just like that woman. I said, I got this need, and I have to keep coming here to, go through you to get it fixed. And I'm going to be like that woman before the unjust judge. And I don't know if they know their Bible, but they laughed. Probably think I'm certifiable. But I gave them my username and temporary password, and then we had to change the temporary password. And as I'm saying this, I'm praying that I remembered it or that I wrote it down. I mean, I left there with a little notepad that the veterinarian gave me with all kinds of notes on it from the first phone call I made. And anyway, we got it switched. We got it changed. I'm back on that program, so thank you, Jesus. Next month, I'll just be paying $30 for my cell phone, which is what I've been paying for the last 2 years, except for last month and this month I had to pay almost $70, which made it really hard. I'm on a very fixed low income like most people, and I have things budgeted, and it's just how it is. So when we got all that done, I asked that manager if he had a number I could call to brag about him and that assistant, how wonderful they've been since Saturday, and maybe, get them a little raise. Because I'm telling you, Saturday and Monday, I was there more than an hour, and they had people coming in, and they were working with me in between people, and they would call these numbers that they had to call and put his phone on speaker in case someone answered and I had to verify something. And one time we got right to that point, and the call switched over to, like, if we had made our phone call and then they want you to take a brief survey. I mean, we waited about 18 minutes, and then the call switched right over to that end part when we never got to talk to anyone, and we had to start all over. So I really felt like that manager and that assistant went beyond to help. And so I asked if there's a number I can call to put in a good word for them, and I hoped that they'd get a little raise. And sadly, they told me all you can do is a Google review. And, we've been working here so many years, and we just feel like the company don't care about their employees. They don't see all that we do. I'll tell you what, when he said that, my heart felt so bad because it brought me back to when I was a nurse's aide, which is a hard job. And most of the time, the residents weren't able to thank you for caring for them. Either they couldn't speak, or there was sometimes mental issues or whatever, And but the charge nurse, I only had one charge nurse that would thank me and thank the other aides that I worked with. And the other charge nurses, they never thanked us, and it kind of put more on us, expect more of us. I was just a nurse's aide. I really was not supposed to be doing like what a treatment nurse does, but we had a treatment nurse who was, I think she had a lot of family issues and maybe was on the verge of a nervous breakdown, so she didn't do her job very well. And some of us nurses' aides sort of got on-the-job training, not getting paid for it, but on how to do treatment care, wound care and all that. And so I did all of that, which was way beyond, But anyway, when that cell phone guy told me that, I thought I have to do something. And I told them, well, I'm sorry that you feel like, the company don't care, but I care. So I thanked them and I left and I went to Dunkin' Donuts and I bought them a box of mixed donut holes. And I gave them that bag of graham crackers that the vet place gave me. I wasn't going to eat it. It had like 7 grams of sugar. They were little teddy bear things. And I went back to the cell phone company, the look on their face. But I said, I'm here with something for you. And I gave it to them, and they couldn't thank me enough. And the lady that was there, I feel like she probably has some things going on in her life. And anyway, I could tell that gesture really touched her. She just had that look on her face, like she was really touched. She was moved, let's just say that. And I'm glad that I was able to do that for them. Someone may say, well, you're on fixed income and yet you went and bought those donuts, which is junk food. You didn't even buy it for you bought it for these other people that you don't know. Don't worry about that. Let me tell you, don't worry yourself one bit about that, because I serve a God who owns it all. And when people get, an attitude like that, and they criticize and they judge, whoever is like that, I feel like is in a dangerous place, because like I said, God owns it all. God could take from someone that is criticizing and judging, maybe sitting on a pile of money. Oh, there's a cardinal. And God could take from someone like that to bless someone else. So I don't worry about it. I felt impressed by God to do that for them, and I would rather obey God. And what I spent on those donuts was worth seeing the look on their faces. They weren't smiling, jumping up and down, but they were almost like in shock that someone would do that. That's what God would do, God would share and show his love. And if we love God, I've said it before, if we love God, we're the light of the world, we're the salt of the earth. We are a vessel that God can work through to bless others. So don't worry about what I spent on those donuts for them, even though I'm on a low income. And I mean, most of you feel the same way that I do, so I don't have to worry that there's going to be some kind of nasty comment in there. And if there is, usually I just delete them and block them. I may just leave that comment there because, things that we say, and you can't talk back to me like I'm talking to you, but through your words and what you text, shows what's in your heart. So, oh, what I was going to say was, he told me, no, the only way is to go on Google review, write a review. Well, I don't do that, and I'll tell you why. I know of one friend of mine who owns a certain kind of business, but I knew someone else back home that has passed away, but they owned a business. And there's this thing with the Better Business Bureau. People think, oh, if I get, treated bad or disappointed or whatever, if I feel like I need to complain, I'm going to write a complaint with the Better Business Bureau. You're free to do it. But let me tell you this, and you can research this and find out that it's true. The Better Business Bureau, when people register with them that own businesses, they are able to buy, I forgot what it's called, but what it is if you own a business and you're registered with the Better Business Bureau, you have choices. You can pay so much money a month so that no bad reviews will ever be written about you. The BBB will just block it because you're paying a certain amount every month for that not to happen. Just like on YouTube, you can buy subscribers. With the Better Business Bureau, you can buy reviews. And so I don't write anything on Google reviews. I don't even read them because I'm aware of that. I probably didn't explain it very well, but some of you probably already know that about the BBB. And that's not what it's intended for, but it's just how it is. So I'm feeling better today. I don't have a headache. I don't have a migraine. I was just so worn out. It takes a lot out of you when you deal with a few chronic illnesses, and you have to deal with situations like that. It just, even though I don't get anxious, I don't really get overwhelmed, I don't get frustrated, God gives me lots of patience with people, still it drains you and you can feel so depleted, and when I was at the veterinarian, I was very alert and aware because the vet was here talking to me, and then they had the table, and the technician had Monster on the table with another technician who they never introduced me to, and they were typing things in the computer. I asked the veterinarian, they're not going to do anything that I'm going to get charged for when I leave here, right? She said, oh, no, this is your free wellness exam, $59 later, that I did not pay. I did pay the $9.50, and I don't know why I did, but like I say, sometimes you have to pick your battles. But I was talking to a couple people yesterday, a couple friends about that, and they said free is free. If they advertised free, and if they were going to charge you even a penny, then it's not free. So they said we would not have even paid that $9.50. Well, I did, and maybe I shouldn't have, but like I say, God owns it all too. But I sure was not going to pay the $50. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, it's just so good to know that when you're right with God and you love Him with all your heart, no matter how bad a day is, there's still peace in my heart that God is in control. Just so thankful. And I'm thankful for this shade tree. It's actually a crepe myrtle shade tree, which when I first saw these trees down here, I thought those are lilacs. Up north we have lilacs. We have white, light purple, and dark purple lilacs. And they smell beautiful. And they bloom in the spring. Well, down here, these crepe myrtles, if you look up, Google lilac tree and crepe myrtle tree, and you'll see how much they look alike. And I was telling everyone, I can't believe that down here there's hot pink and white lilacs. People were telling me, what's a lilac? And I said, that tree is a lilac, but I never saw, a nice pink one. And It's like a dark pink. And they said, well, that's a crepe myrtle. But they look so much alike. They're really nice. Oh, 30 minutes. I'm going to go. Oh, I'll talk to everyone later.